Last summer, I bought my dream camera, the latest Leica M11 Monochrom. Less than 5 months later, I sold it. I don't have anything bad to say about the M11. In fact, I think the M11 series represents the completion of the Leica M in digital. I think every feature added or not added was a philosophical decision and not one bound by any technological restriction. For me personally, with the monochrome, I've never found it easier, faster, or more enjoyable to make black and white images. And sure, I know you can make black and white photos equally as well with just about any camera, but at least for me, getting from the A point to the end point was never faster or easier than with the monochrome. And I think with the M11 series, Leica has kind of pushed the digital to analog ratio to the limit. I think if the M bodies get any more digital, that it becomes at a risk to parody itself or become an homage to itself, much like the Fujifilm X100 series. And it's this analog genuineness that also contributed to the major reason why I had to sell my Leica M. I'm primarily a portrait photographer, and yeah, I know Leica M's are not the best portrait photography camera, but I like shooting them. I've never had a problem focusing them in the past. But with the M11, I noticed that I could no longer focus reliably at anything faster than f2.8. I tried diopters and magnifiers, but no luck. I mean, the keeper rate was anywhere between 50 to 70%. I just really wasn't comfortable with that. And so almost the entire time I owned the Leica M11 Monochrome, I was shooting either with the VisiFlex or with the LCD on the back when it came to taking portraits. And to me, that just kind of defeats the purpose of owning a Leica M. The joy of the Leica M is using the rangefinder, and I was not getting the rangefinder experience. And once you start using the EVF or the VisiFlex, I just feel like there are better options out there. And so sadly, because of its analog roots and for the very reasons that I love the camera was the reason that I decided that it was no longer the camera for me. I have nothing but praise for the M11, but the unboxing and presentation left a lot to be desired. It was nothing like the M8 unboxing I had had years ago, which had been akin to old school Apple, meaning that it was a little bit decadent, luxurious, and was something of an event. Instead, I have to admit that my M11, the hand grip, and the VisiFlex, they all wouldn't have been out of place at a Costco or Walmart, meaning that it was all very minimal and cost efficient. And I'm not really sure that that's the messaging that Leica wants to send, given that it seems to pride itself on being something of a heritage boutique brand. But I live in Korea, and let me tell you something. They really love their luxury brands here. And for example, I went with a friend to Louis Vuitton because they needed to get some after service done on a handbag. When we went there, the service rep asked if we wanted coffee, tea, juice, water. I just asked for some water. I got sparkling water in a bottle, chilled, as well as a glass cup full of ice. Once the AS had been taken care of, my friend got the AS paperwork in kind of a thick, expensive Louis Vuitton embossed envelope, along with the rep's business card, all delivered in white gloves. And I'm not really sure what Leica is offering in terms of service. From what I've seen on the internet, as well as some of my own personal experience, Leica is just famous for really long wait times and opaque communication. Even when I was getting my M11, they had promised weeks, and I think I ended up waiting like 5 or 6 weeks. And every time I asked, the rep was very, very cheerful and as helpful as he could be, but his answer was just, I don't know. And for Leica, I'm not really sure what they're offering for the future generations of customers as their current customers begin to age out. Because on the people who grow up on YouTube and Sony, I think Fujifilm is their Leica. So I'm not really sure where Leica fits anymore for the younger generations. As for myself, now that I can no longer use a Leica M, I think my own history with Leica is kind of being wrapped up because the M was the only system the Leica has where I felt like it really differentiated itself and was special. And now that I can't use it, I think there are other offerings by other companies that are better suited to my pocketbook as well as my interests.